Hello there, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all safe and healthy. This is the first video in a new series called My Favorite Trip to the Movies. So obviously right now, movie going is Oh, thank you. Thank you, Frankie. Also, before I get into that, huge shout out to my good friend Frankie for being the first guest on the show. How are you doing today, Frankie?
I'm doing so good. It is Saturday, my first day of winter break. Feeling it. Pretty excited.
Yes, well deserved. Well deserved.
How are you doing, Joey?
I am excited to talk about movies today. So anyways, the series is called My Favorite Trip to the Movies, and each episode is going to be a new guest, and we're going to talk about primarily that guest's favorite movie theater experience they've had in the past, their favorite snack item at the movie theater, as well as kind of just the overall importance of, seeing movies or any type of art form really in a group setting, in an audience setting. And obviously right now that's not possible really. And that's not a safe thing to do. But just thought this would be a fun way to kind of, reminisce until we are able to do that again. A huge shout out to all the healthcare workers right now, just getting us through this time. Definitely. And also thank you to the teachers too.
Hey, thanks, man.
Including Frankie,
So are you gonna share your favorite movie theater moment every single time you do this? And is it gonna be a different moment every single time, or is it gonna be the same moment every single time?
That is a good question. I was thinking about that, so I think I'm gonna do it kind of based on what the other person says.
Sure.
I mean, I do have a few movies in mind for sure, but I kind of want to see what your experience relates to, and just see what I can relate that to, and Frankie, let's get started.
Yes.
So what has been your favorite movie theater experience so far?
It's a great question, Joey. I bet if I gave you enough time, you could probably figure it out. But it was definitely seeing the last Harry Potter movie at midnight. Those midnight showings, that's a special thing. Those, I feel like, I think that might have been the last midnight show I ever went to. And to be completely honest with you, I don't remember who I was with, but I do remember feeling just like the grandiose nature. I mean, it was the movie coupled with a part of my childhood ending. It was sad and happy and exciting, and I remember having to pee super bad the entire time because it was such a long movie, and I, for some reason, didn't go to the bathroom. But no, that's up there as one of my favorite moments for sure. And just I'm sure you've been to quite a few midnight. What was the last midnight viewing you went to? Do you remember?
So I'm really glad you brought the midnight thing, because they still do that technically, but now you can kind of go to the.
That's right. It's different now. Yeah.
That's so cool. Because there is something to be said about going at midnight, just being super tired and just taking in all the.
And I don't know if you know this, Joey, but I also went to the midnight releases of the books as well as the movies. I don't even know if you know that they did that, but they did for the last 4 or 5 books. Me and a big group of my family members would go, and we'd have a sleepover, and at midnight we'd go to Borders, R.I.P. Borders, and get the book. So it was there was a parallel thing happening in my life where I saw the book, or I got the book at midnight, and then I got to see the movie at midnight. It's cool stuff.
That's so cool. You have kind of both those unique perspectives on that.
Yeah.
And how? Because I know part 2 of Deathly Hallows. I think that was 2011. I think maybe.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
What year did the Deathly Hallows book release?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't even know if I have a good guess. I think 2008, 2009. That might be even too late. It might have been earlier. I honestly don't know. I know it was July 11th because that's Harry Potter's birthday, or July 10th, something like that. But I'm pretty sure it was one of those freshman year of high school, or maybe even 8th grade summers. Ooh, it's a good question.
But anyways, back to Harry Potter. But yes. I'm so glad you got to have that midnight experience. That's so cool. Course. And we'll get to there's a more in-depth question coming up next. But
love it.
And I favorite movie theater concession item.
It's gotta be Junior Mints. I don't even know if they still sell those, or maybe I brought them illegally. I don't know. But Junior Mints are so good in a movie theater. I don't know. Do they still sell Junior Mints, Joey?
I think so. I hope so. They are one of those foods that that are just made better. I feel like there's some food items I would never want to eat at home, but at a movie theater you have to eat them. It makes it so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What about you? Popcorn? Are you a popcorn person? I don't know if I've ever seen you eat popcorn.
it's kind of grouped into that like phase of my life where I used to overeat
tortilla chips.
Tortilla chips. So I
Dang,
always
PTSD, man.
So I grouped them in there, and I shouldn't, because popcorn is definitely like, if you eat too many tortilla chips, that could probably give you a different kind of stomachache. Popcorn is a little bit.
Yeah, popcorn is a low calorie snack, man. You can eat as much of it as you want.
I gotta get back into that because I do miss movie popcorn. It's been a while. But anyways, or Pibb, Mr. Pibb Zero is really
there. You
good.
go.
Too much of that. Kind of like you said, going to the bathroom too much during movies.
Dang.
Well, so as a theater director and someone who's seen so many shows, and I've seen shows with you and it's been so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just what do you think is the importance of these group, like seeing things together as a group instead of let's say like yeah.
I mean, with theater specifically, the audience is another character in the show. I mean, that's you have that energy that you all sort of share in a movie theater, which is awesome. But when you go to see a live show, the actors feel that energy. They hear the audience. They respond to the audience. I mean, with something as little as timing out, like holding for applause, or what I mean, like stuff like that. It changes the course of the show in little ways and in bigger ways. So, I mean, no show you're ever seeing live is ever going to be the same as what anyone else experienced, even if it's a scripted show. So it's different like that. But I would extend it a little bit to theater. And you like it, I'm sure, when the movie theater's packed. I know that the movie is not necessarily different, but I would say that I would have enjoyed Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 maybe a little bit less if I had seen it by myself, at home for the first time instead of with, 400 nerds at midnight, in the middle of the summer. It's something to be said about all that.
Oh, so well said. And like you said, I think audience is totally even more so with live theater. Audiences, it's a super part of the experience. Mm-hmm. But definitely so, with movies for sure. Really quick, last question: was there any moments during Deathly Hallows that you remember? Spoilers for Deathly Hallows Part 2 if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing with your life? What's going on?
I'm so glad you told me to watch those movies. I think it was 2016 we watched them all.
Yeah.
That was a good time. But
long overdue.
Exactly. Yeah. There may be one moment I could think from that movie that might have been, was that okay? But any moments from that movie that you remember, like everyone reacting to?
Everyone reacting to? Oh, I remember seeing gross Voldemort for the first time. There's a difference between reading that part in the book. Do you remember what I'm talking about? When they're in King's Cross after Harry's died, and they see like the fetus, bloody, gross Voldemort, like the representation of him, like the Horcrux representation of him. You might have gone to the bathroom. I don't know if you remember this part, but it's disgusting. And I remember seeing it for the first time, being like, "That's terrifying," and I never want to ever see that again. I thought they did that really well.
And that was in Part 2.
Part 2, yeah. When he gets killed. And then he meets Dumbledore in King's Cross Station in like Limbo Land. And there's Harry and there's Dumbledore. And then there's like baby fetus Voldemort, like the Horcrux of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
you just look it up. You'll remember what I'm talking about.
I gotta look that up.
But I remember everyone like going bleh, like when we saw that part in the movie. It's great.
And see, that's the power of the audience right there. That moment you might not have like totally been taken in without,
Sure.
there. But anyways, hey, that's the first episode of my favorite trip to the movies. This was a lot of fun. This is so much fun reminiscing about stuff.
Yeah. Talking is fun, Joey.
Talking is fun, Frankie. But thank you again, Frankie, for being on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Any final words for the viewers?
No. Enjoy quarantine. Watch a new show. Read a book. Read a book, Joey. You should read a book. Books are so good.
I should read a book. You always get so many good recommendations.
I've almost hit my book reading like goal for this year just in the past like 3 months.
What was the goal?
15 books.
Hey, that's a great goal. That's an awesome goal.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was going to ask you, is there anything you want to promote? But I think that's a good promotion too, the book thing.
Yeah, read a book. And also look out for Larkin High School's audio play production of Love and Information by Carol Churchill coming out indeterminately when I finish editing it.
Hey, I oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Let me know about that too. Let me know that's online.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
All right, Frankie, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. See you, bud.